Hi dear friends, dear students, welcome to Gallant IAS. History is such a subject that many topics, many areas in history are equally important in your prelims, mains, GS1 and in your history optional preparation also. There are lots of areas, be it modern India, freedom struggle, or ancient India, medieval India, art and culture. Many things are there, many topics are there, many areas are in history, which is equally important for prelims, mains, GS1 paper, and your history optional. Many questions being asked in history optional, they are repeated in GS1 mains paper. So you should have an integrated strategy of preparing history for your civil service examination, since it is important for your prelims, mains and your history optional. So in this series, we will be discussing those topics, those areas of history which is equally important for prelims, mains, GS1 and your history optional. Starting with Nehru's Temple of Modern India. Now the question is, how this asked in the prelims examination? Post-independence, of course, they can ask questions from post-independence. They asked a question, the objective about 5-year plans. Objectives, which one of the following is the objective of the second 5-year plan, third 5-year plan, fourth 5-year plan? Similar way, they can ask a question like this, which one of the following is rightly referred to as Nehru's Temple of Modern India? So you should know that the public sector enterprises or the public sector undertakings were described as the Temple of Modern India by Nehru. Okay, in the mains they already asked a question like this. Nehru's Temple of Modern India consisted not only of the steel and power plants or irrigational dams, but also institutions of higher learning, especially in the scientific field. This is a question they asked in the optional paper, and there are lots of examples, the history questions in the optional frequently repeated in GS1 paper also. Same questions being asked in GS1 also. So let's have an analysis of this. Yeah, Nehru's Temple of Modern India. Let me tell you, this is public sector undertakings is described as public sector undertakings described as the Temple of Modern India by Nehru. That was in 1954. It was in 1954 while inaugurating Bakranangal Dam. He described public sector enterprises or public sector undertakings as the Temple of Modern India, because he believed the dams or steel and power plants and institutions of higher learning, they are instruments for India's socio-economic integration or instruments for India's socio-economic transformation, a progressive transformation. For such, this infrastructural development, industrial development or institutions of higher learning, etc. is required. Okay, for India's, yes, nation building. For India's nation building, or it is for national integration, that is socio-economic integration, and of course it is for self-reliance, self-sufficiency and self-reliance. Yes, such a public sector undertakings, that's very, very important, that plays a crucial role, that is or that had been instrumental for India's socio-economic progressive transformation. That was his faith. Okay, it is very important. Such investing into that area is important for India's nation building, national integration and economic self-sufficiency and self-reliance. Okay, and there are lots of steps taken toward this by Nehru. Yes, industry was made a priority in the second 5-year plan. In the prelims, they can ask a question like this, what was the main objective of the first 5-year plan, whether it is industrial growth or agricultural growth or something else. Okay, in the second 5-year plan, definitely industrial growth or industry was made priority in the second 5-year plan. Then see, industrial policy resolution was passed in 1956. Industry policy resolution 1956, which defined what are the areas of public sector, private sector. Then iron and steel power plants established in this Rourkela or Bokaro, etc. Okay. Then see, big dams like Bikaranangal, Hirakund, etc. being built. All these, because he treated them, these irrigation dams or such power plants, steel plants, etc. He treated them as the temples of modern India, and that had been essential for India's socio-economic progressive transformation and for India's progressive nation building, national integration, and for self-reliance. And what were the objectives behind these initiations in these public sector undertakings? Definitely these modern temples, objectives behind promoting these modern temples, of course it is to create infrastructure, it is for infrastructural development, this is to absorb technology, this is to encourage innovations, new research laboratories or institutions of higher learning, especially in the scientific field. Yeah, that is for encouraging innovations, for generating employment, and that is to solve India's socio-economic problems. That is for, yes, eradication of poverty, malnutrition, that is to create maximum domestic employment opportunities, and for infrastructural developments. He believed promotion of these temples of modern India, that is essential. Okay, and also without these institutions of higher learning, this goal is impossible. Okay, institutions, it is impossible or it is not possible to create a highly trained manpower. Yes, you require these institutions are the one side he focused on infrastructural development and steel power plant developments, etc. Also, his temples of modern India included institutions of higher learning because they are required for, yes, creating these trained manpower or scientists, engineers to contribute into these public sector undertakings. Then what are his initiatives toward these institutions of higher learning? So his temple of modern India included irrigation dams, steel plants, power plants, etc. Also institutions of higher learning. Some initiatives in the institutions of higher learning is he chaired this Center for Science and Industrial Research. Research institutions, research national laboratories are required, okay, for new innovations in the scientific field, which is important for India's industrial development or India's infrastructural development, India's socio-economic development. Okay, Center for Science and Industrial Research. Then see, Department of Scientific Research was created under this Nehru. Department of Scientific Research, Center for Science and Industrial Research, under which lots of national laboratories were established. Then scientific policy resolution was passed in 1958. 1952, yeah, the institutions of technology, IITs being established on the pattern of MIT, you see, that is in Kharagpur, Delhi, Madras, Kanpur, Bombay. Okay, so you see, these institutions of higher learning, institutions, IITs being established. Then for using this nuclear power for peaceful purpose, or maybe that is for positive progressive purposes, Atomic Energy Commission was set up in 1948 with yes, Baba as the chairman. And so you take care that these all are his initiatives for promoting this scientific learning or maybe institutions of higher learning, which is also required for India's socio-economic progressive transformation and for India's national integration, nation building, etc. Also institutions like AIMS, then this DRDO and ISRO, you see that all such institutions of research, institutions of scientific progress, institutions of these national research laboratories, all created because he strongly believed, yes, India's progressive positive transformation that has to be built on humanistic perspective and that has to be built on this scientific perspective. Okay, then see, all these initiatives, by transforming them, all these initiatives are basically for meeting the challenges of the society and economy of the nation. Okay, meeting the challenges of the society and economy of the nation. This is to create world-class engineers, doctors, managers, scientists, agriculturists, because these class of people are required for India's socio-economic progressive development, for change, okay, for nation building, national integration and economic self-sufficiency. These class of people required, or for initiating that public sector undertakings, these people required. Okay, so this is what his idea of or his temple of this modern India, Nehru's temple of modern India, that's all consist of these public sector undertakings. Okay, they are important. They are also including these institutions of higher learning, that is to produce world-class scientists, doctors, engineers. They are required for, yes, the so-called national development, infrastructural development, research development, space development, nuclear development, every areas such class of people are required. Researchers, scientists, doctors, engineers required. Okay, so try to get an idea how his Temple of Modern India is defined. Temple of Modern India is defined. What are the roles played by these public sector undertakings and institutions of higher learning? Okay, so this concept is important for your prelims and in your mains GS1 and your optional. In GS1, GS papers and optional, you see answering strategy is different, but still the content, of course, the same. The way you answer in GS papers and the way you answer in optional, you know that optional will be much more specific, you know that. Okay, so in-depth knowledge is required. Definitely this content will definitely help you to answer your GS papers or GS, especially history means that it comes in GS1, and also it is contributory to your history optional also. Just get the core contents, presentation and answering strategy. Definitely you have different strategy in optional and in your GS papers. Anyway, go through it. This series will continue, and please suggest your comments, your feedbacks in the comment box. Okay, definitely I will be looking forward to your comments, your suggestions, etc. And if you like this, please do subscribe the channel and please share the sessions. Okay, that's it. Thank you. And mains area, focus on answer writing. That's very, very important for you. Get the feedback also. That's it. Thank you.